project gone horribly bad in a wonderfully good way. So, we were looking at this field at the back of the church while Chris was thinking about his Eagle project, because he's an Eagle Scout. And to do that, to become an Eagle Scout, you have to have this project. And we were sitting here in the field, and Chris said, you know, when I was in VBS, the Bible school thing, when I was a little girl, like, we always met out here in the summer, and it was wicked hot. We should just build a little shade structure back here so they'd have shade. That's a reasonable Eagle project. We probably could have built it in a weekend. It would have been just fine. What did the church trustees say to us?
Well, they took a simple project and they made it a whole lot more complicated. In the beginning, we were just going to build some kind of freestanding shade structure. Then we met with the church and they said, well, what if we put it on concrete? And you know your design and where you wanted to put it? What if we put it somewhere else? And so they moved it, as well as added an entire concrete slab and a walkway that we had to build within the same amount of time.
And suddenly, these people here, this trustees group and committee approval, right, took this reasonable Eagle project and made it this gigantic project far exceeding the scope of the Eagle project. So we decided, that's okay. We have to do community service for 2 organizations anyway. We'll make this part of our Black Belt project too. So we did. Along the way, this was my contribution. Conveniently, we had a civil engineer in the family. So I designed the concrete slab and all the rebar, and we also leveraged our construction class at the career tech education building I work at. We got them involved in designing it, and some of those guys helped us come out and do it. Chris did a really good job of asking for donations and things. We'll talk about that a little more in a moment. We also got a lot of help. Yeah, that's you guys. So the current conditionals, when they were prep cycles, were kind enough to spend a Saturday with us. And they came out and dug. And then we actually dug a little too far, so then we brought some dirt back and filled it back up.
Was that a civil engineering mistake?
So that was a teaching opportunity because these guys here and Chris, these guys were from the advanced construction class at Washington Square, and they built concrete forms all summer long the previous summer, and swore to me that they would string it out and it would all be good. But they're still in the construction class, right? So, there are lessons to be learned there.
So these are just some photos here, and I'm gonna be honest, it may look like it, but we're not sleeping. We're checking the measurements, we're not sleeping. Though I may have dozed off once or twice.
Now, this was another good, communities coming together. The honorable and much adored Mr. Alan Hatch hooked us up in a big way with his company and a subcontractor and maybe a third company. I'm not even sure how it all worked, but somehow some people showed up and just donated all the concrete and donated their time for the installation, and taught us a little bit about that, and they finished it off real nice, and so this whole work crew and this guy driving the truck and all the cement, that was all a donation of time and money, which was awesome. You should talk talk about those.
So phase 1 of the project was complete. We got all the concrete laid and poured. The only casualties were a couple wheelbarrows, a shovel, and a broken water pipe, all of which were fixed, I think.
And what about the chalk?
Oh yes, the chalk. So they have a daycare, and when it finished drying, the concrete, the next day we came back, and all of a sudden, there were a bunch of chalk drops on the concrete, which we both like to assume that means that they accepted it, and it is now part of it.
So that was just phase 1. And then we installed and built the pergola itself. And that's what it looks like now. So all in all, Chris/us got a $1,500 donation from the church itself, from a specific family in the church. We got Metro Pavers via Mr. Hatch. We got Home Depot to donate the materials for the concrete form, all the wood and the reinforcement and the rebar. We got Pioneer Sand to donate the base materials. We had the 2023 Fall Prep Cycle for free labor and dirt moving. Various scouts from Troop 417. The Washington Square construction class, or whatever it is they did. And then redid, and then did a third time. And our grand totals. We got everything donated except for 500.
Woo!
And drum 169 hours and $4,200 worth of donations. And that's our budget.
So I noticed there wasn't much shade on the final project. Looks very holy.
It's kind of the way pergolas are. You get those things across, and the sun comes through at an angle and creates shade off the sun. But thank you for your observation. Mr. Ty.
Why did you guys add
That's a great opportunity for the church to customize it exactly the way they want it. And the project was already 4 times bigger than it was supposed to be at the beginning. So we had to draw the line somewhere. There was also an electrical kit that came with the pergola, which would have required installing an underground electric line and tapping. We said no to that too. Thank you.
With all the money that's what it costs, why is there so much criticism?
Criticism from.
Well, Joe.
I like that. I'm not sure I can answer that question. Ms. Chris.
What is your favorite memory from doing this project?
Let you answer first.
Probably the broken water pipe. Because we didn't know it was there until we hit it with the shovel. And the people that take care of the grounds of the church said there was no water pipes on where we were digging. So it was a complete shock to all of us.
And you would never guess who broke the water pipe. The construction class. Yes. They just gave and gave and gave to this project. Sorry.
What did you guys get from this project? Like, what did you learn?
I definitely learned that I should have checked the level before I relied on teenagers to check that for me. That's what I learned.
I learned that it's surprisingly easy to get people to donate stuff to you.
Mission.
Would you do this project again?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I drag him along with me.
They're gonna build the bed station.
That's how I got here, really. Last question, yes, sir. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I thoroughly enjoy watching people learn, both through failure and success. And there was a lot of learning on this project. And it's a good cause, and it's the kind of thing that'll be there 20 or 30 or 40 years from now. And that's worthwhile too. So, thank you very much.